So before I begin, I've included a few random fun facts about myself. Firstly, I have 4 dogs, 2 cats, 2 cows, 2 pigs, 2 brothers, and a dozen chickens. I also hunt, fish, keep bees, and produce maple syrup with my father. My bedroom walls are full of street signs, license plates, and whatever else I've collected over the years. And lastly, my photography gear is worth more than my car. Altogether, I have over $6,000 in equipment. Transitioning into the project, I would say my skill in photography is probably my highest academic achievement. Nearly all of what I know came from watching YouTube videos, talking to professionals, and a whole lot of practice. But my interest in photography actually started during my freshman year of high school when I took a digital photography class. My grandfather was a photographer, and my aunt just happened to be studying photography at the same time, so I got my fair share of advice to help me improve. Now, that photography class shaped my whole high school career, but my favorite class was definitely yearbook. It gave me tons of experience relating to my personal interests, like learning how to use Photoshop and photographing countless school events. I was the head photographer for last year's book, which won the Jostens National Program of Excellence Award. But this year I chose to do more with graphic design and kind of became the Photoshop guy. Mrs. Whitney runs the class, and I'd have to say she's my favorite teacher. Outside of class, she spent so much of her own time trying to help me achieve my personal goals. Thanks to her, I've been featured in several art shows over the past few years. Throughout those years, I think everything I've experienced has contributed to who I am today. But one thing I would change is the effort I put in during the COVID years. Online school took a toll on my mental health, and I pretty much just gave up. One thing that changed me, though, was being recognized in the ABC 50 NNY's Next Generation contest. I was interviewed and aired on TV for about a month. My full interview will be featured in a 1-hour special later this year, and I'm eligible for a $1,000 grand prize, all for being active within the community. One thing I enjoyed about high school was getting to know so many different people in and out of my community. I've been very involved with the FFA, which has sent me to Indianapolis, Washington, D.C., and pretty much all over New York State for a variety of events. Last year, our school was invited to represent all 850,000 FFA members by presenting the colors at the annual NASDA meeting, which was attended by ag executives from all 50 states plus 4 U.S. territories, the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, and was covered by over 155 members of the press. Because the meeting was held in our home state, we were personally invited by the New York Commissioner of Agriculture, Richard Ball. I like to take any chance I have to travel. Last summer, one of my friends invited me on their family trip to Long Beach Island, New Jersey. I think this is so far my favorite memory. I got to experience my first time swimming in the ocean and shopping in a Wawa. I got to walk the Atlantic City boardwalk, ate a burger next to Tommy Lee's Pants, watched the sun set from a cruise, and stayed up all night to watch it rise again from the beach. Overall, I just had a really fun time there. I also love going to concerts, which ties into a unique part about me. Cut my life into pieces. I usually stick to rock, but I enjoy a variety of metal and heavier music from bands like Avenged Sevenfold to bands like Lorna Shore, who I'll be seeing live over the summer. I'm even teaching myself bass guitar in my free time. Now, I may not be writing my own songs, but one piece of writing I am proud of is a 7-minute speech on the topic of barn fire safety, inspired by the Eastman Farm fire in Ellisburg. I've been around the fire service my whole life, but on my 14th birthday I became a part of it myself. I've now spent 4 years in the fire department and nearly 1 year working on a farm, so speaking on the topic of barn fire safety is something that was important to me. It was also my first time writing and publicly delivering a meaningful speech. I wrote it for a prepared public speaking competition, and it got a really good response from the judges, which really boosted my confidence. I would say confidence is probably my biggest personal achievement. I was shy and insecure through middle and early high school, but I started willingly going out of my comfort zone by competing in several forms of public speaking. My second biggest academic achievement, though slightly more personal, was placing second in an extemporaneous public speaking competition. I was given 30 minutes to research a random topic, only 10 of which could be on a computer. Then I had to deliver a 5-minute speech and answer another 5 minutes of follow-up questions from a panel of judges. I think during my junior year something just kind of clicked and I didn't really care what people thought of me anymore. But I would say confidence was also my biggest weakness in writing. For a long time I just did what I was told and didn't know where to start on my own. But I improved by getting feedback from judges, teachers, or peers whenever I was writing something big like a speech. Whether I knew what I was talking about or not though, I think my biggest strong suit has always been creating a smooth flow. When it comes to books, I don't read much at all anymore, but my favorite book would probably be Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand.
If he drops it, shoot it.
I used to love nonfiction and autobiographies. I feel I just don't have the time to read anymore, and this is an area both academically and personally that I could definitely improve upon. Organization and time management are both a weakness of mine. I tend to start a bunch of things at once and then end up with an unorganized mess of unfinished projects rather than starting one thing at a time. Moving on to my legacy. I think my camera represents me best. It's probably the one thing I'm most known for, and once I'm gone, all that'll be left of me are the pictures I've taken on it. My goal is to capture stories and bring a new attention to things that people often overlook. I think that in doing so, I've had an impact on plenty of people around me. I've given quite a few athletes, coaches, families, organizations some cool photos to look back on, and I'd hope I've left a positive impact on those I've met without my camera as well. Even though I'm obviously passionate about photography though, I don't plan on pursuing it as a full-time career. After high school, I'll be attending JCC for computer science, with plans on transferring to SUNY Polytechnic for computer engineering. I have family in the Utica area, and I think it's a pretty solid plan with the way technology is going in the area. Once I'm financially stable, my goals are to travel the world and leave a legacy with my name. Coming closer to this point in my life is bittersweet as I have so much to look forward to, but I'm leaving behind everything I've ever known. My biggest takeaway from the last 4 years is to take advantage of every opportunity and don't take life for granted.